think we already know the answer to what you're going to say for this one with CeeDee Lamb based on how you answered a lot of that Amari Cooper one. Sophomore ascension or regression for this guy. He was the wide receiver 12, so literally a wide receiver 1 in fantasy with 16.3 fantasy points per game, even though he had only seen 28 targets over the beginning of the season. And you just suggested the star of camp, potentially the next Dez, according to your colleagues. What's going on with CeeDee Lamb, and what are your expectations for this guy?
He's just really special, and he really hasn't, I don't think, like even fully come into his NFL physical form. And so, I mean, I think he'll only continue to become more special. And he's just, he's just different. I mean, there are different wide receivers. There are guys who are a different breed. Dez was like that, and there are a lot of guys like that in the NFL now. And it, I think we all worried that maybe things wouldn't be as special, but I think a lot of that was just, it's hard to see special with CeeDee when Andy Dalton's throwing to him. It's hard to see special with Garrett Gilbert and Ben DiNucci. But we've been reminded of just how special he is. And I think the like kind of sticker shock of it all has worn off, and he was this new hot commodity toy last year, and he was still really exciting. But the fact that he has kind of kept that hype up has been the most impressive thing. He doesn't have any situations that are weird. He doesn't have anything he's really ever in the news for. He's just an incredible wide receiver, and so he's quickly developing into a really large fan favorite and one of the next faces of the Cowboys in terms of this current generation.
I love it. In terms of his game, I was kind of surprised to learn he ran, I believe it was 93% of his routes out of the slot, and that actually ended up keeping him off the field to about 65, 70%, total snap share because he was so limited in his slot role. Do you think he'll remain just kind of pigeonholed in there? Is he evolving his role throughout camp, or how are you seeing that play out?
I think that's the most exciting thing about him. Kellen Moore, I think it was the first time that he spoke at camp, mentioned that the reason for that was it was a condensed off season. They obviously didn't have, a lot of, instruction time, a lot of education time. And so for CeeDee, that was just the easiest thing also to help, sort of mitigate his responsibilities and keep him off the field in pressure situations where they did run 12 personnel or whatever the case may be. But I don't think that's been, people talk so much about how the Buccaneers are returning all 22 starters from the Super Bowl. While you have to apply some qualifiers here, the Cowboys are returning all intended 11 offensive starters from last year. Lyle Collins didn't start at right tackle in week 1. He missed the whole season. But in terms of their 11 personnel, the Cowboys are returning all 11 that we thought was going to be on the field, at least at this time last year. They're returning Kellen Moore. They're returning their head coach. I mean, there is nothing but consistency on the offensive side of the ball. And so when you factor that in, along with the fact that, CeeDee had an actual offseason to learn the playbook, to learn everything, to learn the full route tree. I mean, I can't envision a world where CeeDee Lamb ever comes off the field. I would never want that. I love Michael Gallup, but I'd rather pull Michael Gallup off the field because CeeDee has the potential to break one off every time he's on the field.
I love to hear it. I imagine where you're going to lean for his line. We got 10, 50.5, and 6.5 TDs. Are you hammering the over on both of them based on what you're seeing?
Yeah, this is, I mean, I have never been more confident in an over-under in recent memory. I mean, I do think that this is, I think that people have forgotten that CeeDee Lamb exists. We obviously live in Cowboys land, but we pay attention to national storylines. And Justin Jefferson was awesome last year, and I think people are really hyped about the Titans now. And AJ Brown's kind of seen a surge in hype and hysteria with Julio Jones opposite of him now. And they're all great wide receivers, but I just really believe that CeeDee Lamb is, I mean, he's different. And I think of at least of those two comparisons and what Justin Jefferson has to offer and AJ Brown, CeeDee has the better quarterback. CeeDee has, two incredible options opposite of him. He has great tight ends. He has an offensive coordinator that we all believe in and is a little bit of a visionary and somebody that can kind of be more creative than others. And so the recipe's there. And we started to see that kind of take hold right before Dak Prescott got hurt last season. There was a little bit of an assimilation period. And so I think that the Cowboys are going to hit the ground running with him this season.
I love it. I love to hear all that. And if he does get locked up, that's some pretty hefty praise with Jefferson and AJ Brown. In fantasy wise, those guys are going a full 2 rounds above CeeDee Lamb right now. So if he ascends to that level, he would go down as one of the best values. And a lot of people he's starting to creep up into like late 3rd, early 4th. And a lot of people, oh no, that's too early for him. If he hits those types of numbers, those type of projections, that wouldn't be too soon. We could be seeing him going, late 1st, early 2nd next year, which would be wild. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.